On March 27, 1933, the Reichstag, the German parliamentary building, burned down. Hitler immediately claimed it was proof of a communist uprising, and he was able to convince von Hindenburg to, the next day on February 28th, sign the Reichstag Fire Decree, which suspended civil liberties including the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and the freedom to assemble, and allowed for law enforcement to arrest people without charges. So they were able to go after their political opponents, such as communists and socialists, and arrest them just ahead of the March 1933 elections. And then, in March of 1933, they were able to pass the Enabling Act, which essentially established Hitler as a dictator. By 1934, he issued the Night of the Long Knives, where he was able to go out and murder any political opponents, anyone who had opposed him in the beer hall putsch, anybody who had been a political rival, he was able to go murder and then retroactively get the Reichstag to make it legal for him. Because it doesn't matter who started the fire. There's a lot of talk among historians that the Nazis themselves may have started the Reichstag fire. It doesn't matter who started it. It matters who controlled the narrative. So this is Nancy Mace when she thought that the shooter of Charlie Kirk might be a trans liberal. She also gave an interview that the liberals need to own this. This is her statement after she found out that it was a 22-year-old white Utah boy from a MAGA family. Oh yes, and they are MAGA because his grandmother said that every single person in that family is MAGA. His mother tried to take down all the photos of them with large guns, and it turns out that there's evidence he was a groyper. And if you're like, what is that? Excuse me, I had to look myself. It is a part of the internet incel community from 4chan and 8chan, who are extreme white nationalists, who their leader is, you'll never guess, Nick Fuentes. Yes, the your body, my choice guy. That Nick Fuentes is their leader. So much so the carving on the casings are all phrases from their internet community, from this following with Nick Fuentes, who, by the way, is also really good friends with Laura Loomer. So much so that Nick has released a statement saying he's condemning his followers who pick up arms, but he was totally fine with them using the motto on the bottom here that I'll just let you read for yourself. Also, nobody on the GOP is talking about how the Colorado high school shooter was a known white supremacist connected with white supremacy groups. Because when the Utah governor said he wished that the shooter wasn't one of us, what he meant was white and conservative. When he said there were no riots, that was a dog whistle, still trying to blame the left for this, while he failed to mention that many of the vigils being held by white supremacy groups were calls to action for revenge, extermination, and violence. And he also didn't mention the over a dozen bomb threats that were called in by right-wingers and the doxing of hundreds of left-leaning creators, myself included, who had nothing to do with this. And while I plan on calling my very conservative reps and asking them if they're ready to condemn groypers, Nick Fuentes, and white nationalism, to them it does not matter if the shooter was left or right at all. It matters who controls the narrative, because Charlie Kirk is much more valuable to them dead than he is alive. And now they get to make excuses to take people's rights away and brush the Epstein files under the rug.